Well, a hearty good evening once again. It is time, as it has been the case for the last few weeks here on Thursday nights at 7 o'clock Central Time for the Champion Brothers ChampCast, Bubba's Big Broadcast, or
Let's talk some Southern gospel.
right over there's Neil.
Chris is hiding like always right over there behind the old hog.
I was like, yes, I felt like it was a road hog night tonight.
There
So,
you
and I
go.
think you repping our brother cousin, aren't you?
We
I
are
think I saw
SBM
that. Yes,
Studios.
the SBM
Yes.
Studios. But we are back to tell you about some a big event that's coming up here. It is getting closer by the week. It's funny how the calendar works that way, isn't
It is for sure.
it? But we
Eyes
have
on
got a
by.
big event coming up March 18th on Saturday night at 6 o'clock at the Fayette Civic Center in Fayette, Alabama. The Dixie Echoes are coming back to town to be with us. Chosen Witness will be there, faithful friends will be there, and we hope that you will be there. There's nothing that's going to cost you anything to come in and listen to some great music. You will have an opportunity to support these singings and the cost involved with those if you so choose, but it is definitely not mandatory. So just love for you to come and be with us and enjoy some great gospel music on March the 18th at the Fayette Civic Center in downtown Fayette. If you happen to be passing through Fayette, they've already put it up on the sign outside.
All
I wanted
right.
to remind you about that. Miss Glenda took care of that for us. Actually, it was last week. I just didn't think to say anything about it then, but
Good
another
deal.
reminder that way. And we would love for you to come and be with us March 18th. Uh, that'll be 1 or 3 weeks from this Saturday night. So
Mhm.
hopefully you will come and be with us.
Yep.
You had a good week thus far?
I have. I have. It's been good and productive and had some valleys to come through, but came right through them. No
That's
problem.
good.
So just makes you better, right? You have a valley to get through.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I kind of threw you a curveball this week. You're the one who usually drives the bus and gets everything together. But I was thinking about a mutual friend of ours who I'm not sure if it's as well, I know he's not as old as either one of us, but he has been around the gospel music and the Southern gospel music pretty much as long as we have
Hmm.
in terms of years, or almost all his life, I guess is what I'm trying to say.
Okay.
I don't know. I'm confused here about all
Percentage
this.
of years of his life.
Yeah, there you go. You're the math guy. I knew you could put it in good terms for me. But
Okay.
I told Neil that I'd like to bring him on, and he agreed. And then I called him, and he said, "Yeah, I'll come do that. I'll come hang out with y'all." So would you? Well, wait a minute. Let me see if I can get my proper introductions here, my proper sound effects and all. Ladies and gentlemen, would you please welcome your friend and mine? Big round of applause for Jason Baines, ladies and gentlemen.
Hey guys,
And
Yes.
they're going crazy. Yes, yes, yes. How are you doing?
doing great. How about y'all?
Man, if I was any better, I'd be a Baines.
I heard that.
That's all right.
But I just see you have, and your whole family has been so supportive of us and our singing through the years, and then these singings that we've been bringing to Fayette, Alabama. And I was like, man, Jason's probably got about 2 or 3 hours if to get started on some stories because you spent some
Hmm.
time out there on the road doing
I
what
did.
Neil and I used to always say this, we wanted to do, but never
Yep,
did. But you got to live that dream for a good
I
while.
I
But
did. I
just
sure
kind of
did.
introduce yourself. If folks don't know you, just talk a little bit about where you are or where you're from, who you folks are, all that kind of good stuff, and your family now.
Well, Neil, I was going to say first that when Chris sent me the text the other night, I just knew when I called him that he was going to ask me to fill in for him and Ron Foster on 95.3 The Barrel Singer.
Well,
Oh.
we can make that happen
Oh.
too. I'm about tired of going over there. No.
But but when I did call him and he told me, what he was wanting to do and all of that, my first thought and what I told Rachel was they must be totally out of prospects.
Oh,
No,
stop it.
not at all.
That is not
Had
true at
lots of
all.
others to choose from.
But no, I appreciate the opportunity, and most folks that's probably tuning in probably know who I am, but I am Jason Baines, and pretty much born and raised in Kennedy all my life, and um, I'm married, um, 22 years this coming October will be
Oh,
22
there.
years for Rachel and I, and we've got two boys, Landon, who's 17. It's hard to believe. And
Tell me
then
about it.
Dawson, he just turned 14 this past October. So we're very blessed, and we have, like I said, I've lived in Kennedy most of my life, except for a stint when I was on the road when I lived in Nashville. And we live back in the woods, but I guess any further back in Kennedy, it would be considered Kennedy.
There you go.
When you
Gotcha.
said that, I was like, now, has he lived there long enough that the R has dropped itself, or is it going to come out here before too long? But
It still gets pronounced that way. Yep.
well, tell folks what are you doing these days?
Well, these days, I have been with West Alabama Bank. I work for them in the IT department. I've been there this month. We're still in February, right?
Yeah, I
Uh,
think.
this month marked 14 years that I've been with the bank. Haven't been in IT that whole entire time. I was a teller for the bank for the first 6 or 7 years of that 14 years, but that's what I'm currently doing, and really enjoy my job.
So let me tell you this, folks. When we told you that the guy that was coming on tonight had the it factor, there you go. That's exactly what we
There you
needed.
go.
He's
There
in
you go.
because you just heard him say he did it. He was too modest to say that he was the it guy, but he spelled it out for
IT. I
everybody.
get that. I get
Yeah, I
that.
knew you would eventually, but I'll
Yep.
be here
Yep.
all evening till we get through anyway. Hey, let's say hey to some
Mm.
folks. Megan Edgeworth, as always, checking in, saying hi, guys. Our buddy Johnny Duran going to try his best to be there and sing a song. But Johnny, we are praying for you, going through some health issues. Oh, plenty, I guess is the easiest way to put it. But, buddy, praying for you and hope that you will be able to be with us on March 18th. Then Scott Boland has to come in and be the real comedian of the bunch. He said, "There's Wichita and the two young country singers. I don't know which is which, but all right."
Yeah, that's what I was fixing to say.
And Judy Armstrong responded to, and as we always say, y'all feel free to hit that like button or share button or comment if you want to. We'd love to say hey to you, like Pam and David Baker saying, "Hey, y'all, good to see y'all too." And I appreciate, we can't really see you. Y'all know what I mean.
Yeah.
But Jason, I told Neil that I knew that you would have some stories to tell about your time traveling and just some of your favorite groups and that kind of thing. And you gave me a list of songs that you wanted to play tonight. So I'm just going to throw the floor open to you, and you start wherever you want to on that list, and just talk about you just drive the bus for a little while. Me and Neil's going to stay back here and ride tonight. So.
Well, I guess to begin with, I would have to blame probably Greg Fields for my stint in gospel music.
He
No,
gets
I'm just
blamed for a
kidding,
lot,
Greg.
as he should. No, I'm teasing too.
Greg, if you're watching, I love you, brother. But no, how it all got started, and let me back up. I, as a child, I grew up just eat, sleep, drink Southern gospel. That's all I listened to growing up as a youngster, and still do, obviously. But that was a dream of mine. It didn't matter what I did. I just wanted to be out there on the road
Yeah.
somewhere in the gospel music industry. And sometime probably in 96, 97, Greg Fields called me one day, and he said, "I've got this group that has called me and they're wanting to come to my church, but at this point we're unable to have them." He said, "Would your church that was Oak Ridge at the time is where I was going. He said, would you think y'all would be interested in having a group called the McKeithans to come in? And I said, well, Greg, I don't know. We've never done that kind of thing before. And at the time, just to be honest, I wasn't familiar with the McKeithans at that point. But long story short, we agreed and had them in, and through the time spending with them, they knew that was a dream of mine. And so probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 months after we had them at our church, Dixie McKeithan called me and said, if you want to come and run sound for us, then we've got a spot for you. And at the time, I had just graduated from Bevel and was working at Walmart. And I said, well, let me think about it. And I thought about it for about 2 seconds. And I said, yes. And the next thing I knew, I was packing my bags. And I mean, little country guy from Kennedy, Alabama, moving to Nashville, Tennessee, never driven in a big city before. So I was wide-eyed and white-knuckled the whole time, going up there. But it was a dream, and I got to live that dream for about 6 or 7 years. I was with Tim and Dixie, and Angelina started out, but Dixie had fallen under some health issues, and they actually hired Andy Collins the same time they hired me. They hired him to come in and fill in and take over for Dixie. So my time with them, it was myself, Tim, and Angelina, who are father-daughter, and then Andy Collins were together. So I don't know where you want me to go from here. I don't know if you want to play
talked about
something.
that. You talked about, or you sent me some of those songs.
Yeah.
You want to do Good Things, or?
Yeah, we can do Good Things. That's actually it's a live version, but it's the original. It's the family group at this point, Tim and Dixie and Angelina, on Good Things, and I'm pretty sure that Joel Hemphill wrote this song.
Mm-hmm. Hemphill did it as well.
Yep, that's right. And I don't know if, I'm sure you guys know, but don't know if a lot of people know that Joel was Tim's uncle.
Yeah.
And so I got to know Joel and Labriska real well. They just lived right down the street from Tim and Dixie. But, they were, I love Tim and Dixie and Angelina to death. And they were, I guess they kickstarted my adventure there. And I think the world of them still.
Well, let's listen to the McKeithans. This is from an album called Live in San Francisco and Good Things.
We can start it again, can't we?
And once again, yes, just leave it to me. I will mess something up eventually.
Jason, Chris needs some IT help.
Yeah,
I got
I may just hire you, Jason, as I get this. I may just hire you to start being our producer, so I don't have to worry about pushing all these buttons. You can just count on it like clockwork. I'm going to do something wrong every week. But now let's give it another try. The McKeithans and Good Things.
Walk alone in darkness. Life is so much better in the light. There's no reason you should be defeated. God will fight our battles with his might. Walk away from darkness, leave behind defeat. In Jesus there is happiness complete. Our God specializes in good things. feel alone and lonely, Jesus is an ever-present friend.
We don't have to worry over past things. He forgives our failures and our sins.
Let him be your Savior, let him be your friend, one who will accompany and cleanse.
Our God specializes in good things, things that you and I really need. Good things for the body and spirit. All you have to do is just believe. Our God specializes in good things, things that you and I really need. Good things for the body and spirit. All you have to do is just believe. Good things, good things. All you have to do is just believe. Good things, good things. All you have to do is just believe. Just believe.
The McKeithans. It's called Good Things here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. And Jason Baines is our special guest tonight. Right there he is, and right there I am. So that's some good stuff right there. A great memory from the McKeithans, from Tim and Dixie and Angelina. And I was saw a post. It's been a little while back, but Angelina's kind of been through it health wise and
Yes, yes, she
wise and
has.
all that. Are you still in contact with them? Do you ever talk with them much anymore?
It's actually been a while. Of course, I did see all that on Facebook, and Dixie and I guess, stay more in contact than anybody. And I keep up with Tim is on Facebook too, and I reach out to him quite frequently on that, and so we do stay in touch.
Well, any other, well, because after you mentioned it a while ago, but after Dixie basically came off the road, that they kept going and kind of renamed themselves as McKeithan and Company, and
They did.
you
Yep.
were still around during that time too?
Well, that when Dixie came off the road and Andy and I joined, that's when they went through the name change from the McKeithans to McKeithan and Company.
Yeah.
Andy and I were the company. So, and that's I know we've got some other songs by that group.
Yeah, pick one out. Let's listen to one of those.
I was getting ready for this for tonight. I was listening through some songs, and I told Rachel there was a song that Tim did just about every night after the recording came out that this song was on, and I loved to hear, if Tim ever sang a song that I loved to hear him sing, it was this song. It's called "The Cross Was Built to Last."
Well, let's listen to it from McKeithan and Company here on the Champion Brothers broadcast with our special guest, Jason Baines.
Jesus was a carpenter, builder of great things, working for the multitude, as master of their needs. But his greatest work would be on a hill where he'd labor with his hands, and just 3 nails a cross would bear our Savior. Standing on a hillside made by the Son of Man is a cross where he sacrificed the blood of his own hand, built with grace for a future and forgiveness for our past. sweat and tears. He gave his life to build salvation's plan and hope for all on Mount Calvary's hill. Now sin cannot defeat us in the ages that will pass, 'cause the reach of grace is endless from that cross field to last, standing on a hillside made by the Son of Man is a cross where he sacrificed the blood of his own hand. Built with grace for our future and forgiveness for our past, thanks to the master carpenter, the cross was built to last. Built with grace for our future and forgiveness for our past, thanks to the master carpenter. The cross was built to last, built to last.
The cross was built to last. McKeithen and Company here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. Our special guest tonight, Jason Baines, who spent some time with the McKeithens and McKeithen and Company, as they came to be known later. Let's say some more howdies this evening. Our old pal, Billy Boo Boo Shaw, says he's riding along again. He was talking about the good things a while ago. Said kind of sounds like the Rex Nealon singers, but I never really thought about that. But they did have that kind of high harmony kind of sound to
Yep.
them as well. The McKeithens did with Tim and Dixie and Angelina, and some more folks that's liked it, the broadcast tonight. Of course, Johnny and Carol Duran, Joel Bobo, Dave Ezel, and Judy Armstrong. And how about this, boys? Mark Cates, the bass singer for the Dixie Echoes, stopped by. I don't know if he's still
There
here
you
or
go.
not. And Miss Patsy Robertson also says she's watching tonight. Thank you, and we appreciate you too. Speaking of the Dixie Echoes, Neil, tell them about what's coming up here real soon. I feel like we're doing all the talking tonight. I guess it helped we unmuted you, but or you unmuted yourself. It won't let me unmute you. So
I feel like they're coming pretty close by, aren't they?
yes,
Yeah.
right here.
How about Fayette,
I didn't mean
Alabama?
to cover you up, Jason. You'll be
Yes.
back in just a
That's
minute.
okay.
They were there March of last year of 2022, and we soon after that we just lined it all up to get them back this year, 2023, March 18th, Fayette Civic Center in Fayette, Alabama. It's going to be a great night with the Dixie Echoes, a few from Faithful Friends, a few from Chosen Witness, and then a bunch of Dixie Echoes. Let me tell you, they're sounding as good as ever, solid as a rock. I've heard them 2 or 3 times, fairly recently, and yep, will not disappoint, no doubt. Won't cost you a dime to get in. We just want you to come and worship with us and enjoy this music and support this music coming to your, to your local area. That's one of the reasons me and Chris decided to start having these events. Now, is it a whole lot? Well, no, it's only 3 a year, but I can guarantee you it's 3 more than you would have had if we not got these together. And hey, I'm looking for the day when we can have even more, not even limited to 3 a year.
Yeah.
But we're going to have a great night, and you will have a chance to help continue to support it and to bear the expense, because there is an expense for an event like this. But you will have that opportunity, but not a requirement at all to come and enjoy. So definitely do that. Dixie
Jason,
Echoes, March 18th.
You put a song that they recorded on their latest album called Music and Melody that was released, I think, at Quartet Convention last year. An old Dixie Echoes classic called The Devil in His Old Suitcase. Tell me why you put that one on your list.
why I put that one on my list.
Yeah.
That's just always been a favorite of mine. I
Yeah.
just like the rhythm and just everything about it. Just one of those songs that only the Dixie Echoes can do. And speaking of them for just a second, when I moved to Nashville and started traveling, got acquainted with Scoot, and he would come up from time to time. So Scoot and I go far enough back that both of us had hair, if you can believe that. So we have been friends for a long time, and I think a lot of Scoot and Randy and so looking forward to having them back in Fayette. And I really appreciate you guys for starting this thing back up. I remember back in the days when the Bishops would come for the Bama Boys concerts and in Fayette, and so I'm glad that we're getting gospel music back in our area. And so thanks to you guys, and you already said it, but I think you two know that Rachel and I will support you guys as often and as much as we can, for sure.
And it is much appreciated too.
For sure.
Proverbs 22:6 and on you boys too. Train up a child in the way he should go, and when he's old, he'll not depart from it. So thank you for bringing your boys along too. So, but yeah, let's listen to that song from. I mentioned Mark Cates. I don't know if he's still watching or not, but Mark, if you want to chime in and make any comments, feel free. But here's the Dixie Echoes and the Devil and His Old Suitcase.
Who's that a coming down that lonesome road? Who's that a toting such a heavy load? Who's that a wearing such an awful face? It must be the devil and his old suitcase. Who's that a standing at my front door? Who's that a knocking like he did before? Who's that a saying, I likes your place? It must be the devil and his old suitcase. The blues he gives you will only get you down. Oh yes, when he gets you, he'll turn your happy hours upside down. Who's that a leaving from my front door? Who's that a leaving like he did before? Who's that a saying, I hate that grace? It must be the devil and his old suitcase. The blues he gives you will only get you down. Oh yes, when he gets you, he'll turn your happy hours upside down. Oh, who's that a leaving from my front door? Who's that a leaving like you did before? Who that a saying, I hate that grace? It must be the devil and his old suitcase. Must be the devil and his old suitcase.
Dixie Echoes, the devil in his old suitcase. Old Randy carrying on the tradition that his dad started. He used to wear that song out pretty good too. The devil in his old suitcase. Jason Baines is our guest tonight. And Jason, I had to do it because I mean you started it by you're the one that put this out there, so I know you're not going to be too embarrassed about it because you put it out there. But you made that comment about you and Scoot both having hair, so we do have photographic evidence of at least half of that statement. Because, here's a deep conversation with Jason and Gerald Wolfe of all people.
My.
Back in the day, I'm guessing by the looks of that chair and that couch that was at a National Quartet convention because I see the Weatherfords back there in the background.
Yep.
So that must have been in the exhibit hall. And
It
it seemed
was.
like every booth that was there that rented the furniture from the joint was those kind of chairs and that pattern on the couch. But
Yep, that's
but,
exactly right.
but I'm guessing that was Louisville.
Yes, it
Okay,
was. Yep, that was Louisville.
so that would have been about what?
That was probably, that might have been um,
Late
90.
90s.
Yeah, that was either 97 or 98. Because actually, uh, when I joined McKeithen and Company, our first trip out was to NQC that September,
Yeah.
and so that was a really neat experience for me. And so yeah, I was looking through some pictures last night and ran across that picture, and so yeah, that's how you like that curl back there.
I'm telling you, you got it going on.
That's there, buddy. Yes.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's good stuff right there.
But but anyway, I just thought I'd share that. I went and got that picture while the song was playing, and I was like, "Yeah,
Yeah,
he put it out there. That means he wanted us to show it tonight." I just know
well,
it. So
you know, that's one of those things.
You and Gerald both felt like you was doing as much talking with your hands as you was otherwise. Looked like, boy,
Well,
you both like putting it out there. You look
well,
like.
I'm sitting here like this so that I don't do that. On here, I get that.
oh, it's fine. It's fine.
I
If
get
I didn't have
that.
my hand on the mouse all the time trying to click stuff and mess it up, I'd be doing that. So
Well, I
maybe
get that trait from my mama, so she talks with her hands all the time.
Okay. Loretta laughs at me for doing that when I'm on the phone all the time. I'll be sitting over there just doing all kind of stuff when I'm on the phone. She said, "They can't see you. Why are you doing that?"
I
Yeah.
want to say hey to some more folks. Brenda St. Pierre and Kay Robertson checked in with us. And our buddy Philip Thornell said, "How old is some of this music?" Well, it's old, like us, Philip. So,
It's even older than us, if you can believe it, Philip.
yep, some of it is.
Yeah.
That's Devlin's old suitcase, I'm pretty sure is. Philip had a birthday last week. Happy late birthday to you, Philip. And if you're still watching, did you hear us play the Southerners on the radio last Sunday?
Sure did we?
I
Down
didn't.
95 through the bear.
Neil came over and helped me last Sunday over there, and Philip chimed in, and so we had to play some old Southerners music. Speaking of how old is some of that music, but had a good time doing that. Well, let's see here, Jason. We were talking about Gerald, and of course, he is most closely affiliated with the cathedrals, and then of course, Greater Vision, his group now. But I can't help but notice the picture behind you back there. I think was that an SGMA thing, or I don't
It
remember
it
how
was that.
of George
Yeah,
and
that.
Glenn.
Yep, that was the. I think the guy's name was Mitchell Toll.
Yeah,
That started a. I don't remember how many he did. I know at least 3 or 4 different paintings in a set, and if I remember right, this particular one was the first one that he did, and they did the big reveal release at NQC, and I was able to get one of those, and I don't know if you can tell it, but uh, at that point, Glenn had passed away,
Mhm.
and so they had George and Glenn's wife Van out signing the pictures, and so I was fortunate enough to have George to sign it and Van to sign the picture, and it's a cherished item for me for sure. George was one of my heroes for sure, and I was fortunate enough to have some conversations with him during my time on the road and at NQC. And I think I saw yesterday if he were alive today, he would have been 93 yesterday.
Yeah,
So yeah, he
but
and Glenn were one of a kind.
definitely
Sure.
encouragers to or cheerleaders, not only for the cause of Christ, but to young folks coming up. Neil and I both have some good stories of how he encouraged us through the years as well, and
Indeed.
it's so much appreciated. That that you always hear, "Don't meet your heroes, you'll be disappointed." But thankfully, George and Glenn were not in that category. I mean, you
Yeah,
were in all when I or I was anyway, when I met both of them the first time. But then after that, it was just like, old pals seeing each other once again. And it just blew me away that George and Glenn recognized me and took interest and asked questions and that kind of stuff. And and it wasn't just me, it was everybody that they came in
That's
contact
right.
with that they would do that for. But you gave me some cathedral songs. Pick out one. Let's play one that you wanted to do.
Let's do. This is kind of an older one that I don't know if a lot of people are familiar with, but I love the song that features. We're talking about George, so we'll just play one that featured him. But "Turn Your Back." That's
right.
one of my favorites.
Back from the Kirk Talley days. So let's listen to the Cathedrals and "Turn Your Back." As soon as there we go.
Well, I wouldn't take nothing for my journey now.
If you're tired of the life you're living, if you're taking more than you've been given, if your life seems a little more lonely every day, turn your back to the life you're leading, turn your back to the voice of your heeding, turn your eyes to the morning star who loves you for what you are. He's the only one who can show you a better way. Turn your back to the road you're walking, turn your back to your way of talking, turn your back to the friends who just want to bring you down. Turn your back to you was art of believing, turn your back to you was art of receiving, turn your eyes to the Lord above, and you'll soon find a perfect love. He's the only one who can turn your life around. If you searched all your life for something, and it seems that you have missed the one thing that will give you peace and comfort your troubled heart, turn your back on the doubts and confusion, turn your back on your disillusion, turn your feet toward a brand new road. You will find a friend to share your load. He's the only one who can give you a brand new start. Turn your back to the road you're walking, turn your back to your way of talking, turn your back to the friends who just want to bring you down. Well, turn your back to you will start to believing, turn your back to you will start to receiving, turn your eyes to the Lord above, and you'll soon find the perfect love. He's the only one who can turn your life around. Oh, turn your back to the road you're walking, turn your back to your way of talking, turn your back to the friends who just want to bring you down. Oh, turn your back, you will start to believing, turn your back, you will start to receiving, turn your eyes to the Lord above, and you'll soon find a perfect love. He's the only one who can turn your life around. He's the only one who can turn your life around. Around. For we're down here for just a little while, our home is on the other side. Ambassadors true for Jesus our Redeemer, and it is a love's crusade. For right against the wrong, but soon we'll join the throng in heaven when the saints parade. For heaven's King, for heaven's holy King, we gladly shall and sing the story, blessed old story, sing it to the glory. Oh, in his heaven, in the glory land fair up yonder, with that glad band, we'll promenade in heaven and parade. So happy are we in telling you, my friend, that Jesus can redeem your soul from every known sin and make you with joy. Billows o'er you then will roll. A happy new song you will begin to sing to Jesus, he the way hath made. To glory land fair, we'll have a mansion there, and join us in the saints' parade. For heaven's King, for heaven's only King, we gladly will sing the story, blessed story, sing yet God is heaven new in glory and fair up yonder. With that glad band, we'll promenade in heaven parade. We'll promenade in heaven's grand parade.
I forgot to tell Neil, but I stuck a twofer in there. Went ahead and played the Heavenly Parade from the Cathedrals, and I also heard Turn Your Back as well. Jason Baines is our guest this week on the Champion Brothers broadcast. As I say a lot, quoting my friend and mentor Eddie Stubbs, are there any questions?
Better not.
And I'm glad you picked, because they recorded Heavenly Parade, I know, at least 3 different times, if not more. And but that one was off of that Best of the Gaithers that they did at a Gaither taping. And I love that one because you don't have all the recording enhancements. It sounds like they're just, sitting
just
in
voices. Yep.
sitting around the kitchen table or something.
Well,
And
you were
you'd never know that it was in front of people until they started clapping there at the end. But
Right.
yeah.
but I just love that recording of it.
You were talking about Glenn and George and just the class that they had, and of course, heroes of mine, but also, I'm thankful that people like Gerald Wolfe that was with them for so long, and then Scott and Ernie, but to see them still carrying that on, it's really great that they're still doing that, and I think the world of Gerald Wolfe. And one of the neat things that I have kept over the years, just me personally, back when I was in Nashville, I got pretty well acquainted with Roger Bennett. And back when he was going through one of his stints of his sickness, I had sent him a card and never expected anything back, didn't do it for anything. But a few weeks later, I got a letter that's on Cathedral's letterhead that he wrote back and just said, appreciate the card, thank you for praying and all that. And I've still got that letter, and I ran across that the other day. So that means, it still means a lot to me. Talked a lot of Roger.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. He was a good one. Let's get back to your story, because you were with the McKeithans for a while, but then later on, like just about anybody that's ever sung gospel music full time, you made a change and went to another group. Tell us about that and who you went with and that story.
Yeah, I did. What happened? It was another health issue that came up. This time it was with Tim, and the group talked, and with the health that he was dealing with, it was just a unanimous decision at that point to disband the group, and so we did. And I probably went a few months without being with anybody. I did have the chance before I went with the other group. I did have a chance to work closely with Joel Hemphill around his place and helping him take care of the bus and that sort of thing. So I actually photocopied the very first check that I got from Joel. But yeah, so when the group disbanded, Earl Galloway from the Galloways called me, and they were looking for a sound guy. So I told them yes, I would go and help them out, and I wound up being with the Galloways for about, I don't know, I guess 2 years or 3 years, and ran sound for them, and so and I ended when I came off the road. I was with them at that point.
And they're another family-based group, right? Who all was in that group
Yes,
at that time?
yes, it was a family based group. It was another daughter and dad and mom. It was Earl, Charlene, and Brittany,
Yeah.
and so it was a little bit of a change for me when I went with the Galloways. I had been used to traveling in a motorhome with the McKeithans, and when we went with the Galloways, they were traveling in a van and pretty much had all of the equipment piled into the back of the van, and then you only had room left for the four of us. And so that was a little bit of a change to get used to.
That sound
but
familiar,
I,
Neil?
Oh, it does it.
yeah.
But you
So
picked out some of those Galloway songs, and I gave you a sneak preview accidentally a minute ago. I don't know if you want to play that one or one of the other ones.
yeah. Let's we can go ahead and do that, and then I've got a pretty neat story after that. Let's see, that one that you kicked off was "Wouldn't Take Nothing from a Journey Now."
Yeah. You want me to do that
Yeah.
one again?
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
Let's see
Go
if we
ahead.
can get it loud enough in our ear monitors. And here's the Galloways, and I wouldn't take nothing from a journey now.
Well, I wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. I gotta make it to heaven somehow. Though the devil tempts me and he tries to turn me around, he's offered everything that's got a name, all the wealth I want and worldly fame. If I could still, I wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. There's nothing in this world that'll ever take the place of God's love. Silver and gold could never buy a touch from above. When my soul needs healing and I begin feeling his power, I can say thank the Lord, I wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. Well, I wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. I gotta make it to heaven somehow. Though the devil tempts me and he tries to turn me around, he's offered everything that's got a name, all the wealth I want and worldly fame. If I could still, I wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. I started out traveling for the Lord many years ago. I've had a lot of heartaches, met a lot of grief and woe. But when I would stumble, there I would humble down, and then I would say I wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. Well, I wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. I've gotta make it to heaven somehow. Though the devil tempts me and he tries to turn me around, he's offered everything that's got a name, all the wealth I want and worldly fame. If I could still, I wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. Well, I wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. I've gotta make it to heaven somehow. Though the devil tempts me and he tries to turn me around, he's offered everything that's got a name, all the wealth I want and worldly fame. If I could still, I wouldn't take nothing for my journey now. If I could still, I wouldn't take nothing for my journey now.
The Galloways, and I wouldn't take nothing for my journey now, here on the Champion Brothers broadcast with special guest Jason Baines tonight. But you had a lot of good times and stories with him. Tell us, what were you referring to there? Well, wait a minute. Let me get you turned on here. There you go.
well, that song, was made popular by another family group,
Yeah.
the Happy Goodmans, and during their farewell tour that they did, they came to I think it was the Gibson Guitar Place that used to be in the Opry Mills Mall there in Nashville. And I don't know how it came about. I think it was an invitation only type thing. But anyway, we all got to go. Rachel was able to go with us. And so we went that night. And after the event, after the concert was over with, we were able to go backstage and got to meet Howard and Vestal and Johnny. And Charlene's birthday was coming up just a few days after that. And I just got the gumption up, and she was a Vestal fan. And so when I got to Vestal, I said, Vestal, can I ask you a question? And in her Vestal way, she said, well, yes, darling. And so I said, I told her, I said, Charlene's birthday is a few days away, and I think it would be neat if you would autograph your handkerchief that you used tonight, and I will give that to her for her birthday. And she said, well, I certainly will, darling. And so she took her hanky that she used that night and autographed it to Charlene, and I was able to give that to her for her birthday. And so that was a really neat thing to do.
Rick must not have been there. Must have been off doing something else, because he'd have charged you $100 for it. So.
Well, I actually.
Y'all know I'm telling the truth.
That's good stuff.
Well, you said, well, actually, what?
No, that's. Oh.
You better not tell me you had to pay $100 for that.
No, I didn't. No, I did not. No, I did not. That was free of charge. But
yeah, Scott liked that one too. So, are you still in contact with Galloways?
I am. I stay in pretty close contact with Earl and talk to him quite frequently. And of course, again, Facebook, you keep up with everybody on Facebook. Oh, yeah. But I communicate with Brittany and Charlene on there. And so yeah, they were kind enough to allow me to go with them for a few years, and I enjoyed my stint with them. That you asked about a few stories and a couple of places that were probably my favorite places to go. Back when I was with McKeithans, we did a tour with the Anchorman called Spark of Flame. Mm-hmm. And we went to a little place up in, I think it's Fort Atkinson, Wisconsin. It's called the Fireside Dinner Theater. And it was kind of a mini, if you remember back NQC in Louisville, where it was the all the groups in the round. It kind of resembled that, but on a much smaller scale, and it was a little more intimate setting. And so you went out and ate in this big dining hall, and then you came in for the concert. So that was a pretty neat place. They had a lot of Broadway shows there. We were actually able to take in, I think it was Oklahoma that we got to see while we were there. So that was pretty neat. And on that tour as well, probably one of the neatest places I got to go was to Alcatraz. We did a West Coast tour as part of that Spark of Flame trip, and we were able to tour while we were in California. We were able to go and see Alcatraz, so that was got to do and see a lot of things that I never, even imagined that I would ever get to go do or see, and I thank God that He allowed me to, like you said at the beginning, to live my dream for those years.
Yeah. And he's a real Southern gospel person, y'all, because he talks about going all over the country and all that, but his favorite place to go was prison. So old hogs, you're funning now. All right. Mighty fun. You mentioned that Spark of Flame. Yeah, didn't they do a single from that?
We did.
Give me that?
Yes. Yep. There was a single entitled Spark of Flame that featured the Anchorman and McKeithen and Company. Yep.
How about we just play that right quick? Is that all right?
Sure.
Good.
Sure.
It's our show. We'll do whatever we want to. Here's McKeithen and Company along with the Anchorman and Spark of Flame.
Spread salvation's fire should be our first desire. It's doing what the Father has ordained.
With His Spirit when to stir our souls within,
we share the message that can spark a flame. We can spark a flame in another's heart as the light of Jesus shines through who we are. When His love ignites us, it cannot be contained. We can go in Jesus' name and spark a flame.
In a darkened hour, people need a power
to generate a change within their lives. God's saving grace can set their hearts ablaze. Let's share the truth that kindles and revives.
We can spark a flame in another's heart. As the light of Jesus shines through who we are. When His love ignites us, it cannot be contained. We can go in Jesus' name. When His love ignites us, it cannot be contained. We can go in Jesus' name and spark a flame.
We can spark a flame. No, we can spark a flame. We can go in Jesus' name and spark a flame.
We can spark a flame in another's heart. As the light of Jesus shines through who we are. When His love ignites us, it cannot be contained. We can go in Jesus' name and spark a flame.
McKeithen and Company with some help from the Anchorman and Spark a Flame here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. Our guest tonight is Jason Baines. And which week's version of the Anchorman was that? Do you remember who that was? Bless their hearts. They went through so many different people through the years, but was that Steve Ladd singing tenor?
That was Steve Ladd on tenor.
Okay, I thought
and Jeff Chapman on bass.
Yeah.
And then Philip Hughes was part of that group, and then John Stemberg sang with that group. And so I stay in touch with John, and of course Steve and I and Jeff are all real close still, and built a lot of good friendships over those years, and that I still have today, and cherish those friendships for sure.
Well, man, we can't tell you how much we appreciate you coming on and being with us tonight. And I'm not trying to usher you off, but is there anything else left that you want to tell or play or do, or you want to sing?
Well, we can. No, I don't want to sing one for sure. We would lose the audience we've got. Now we can play one more, and the reason I say that is, as I'm looking at the comments, is Megan had said that one of her favorites is Beyond the Grave.
Yeah.
And that was one that I had picked out if we got to it. But I've taught some RA classes down through the years at church, and some Sunday school classes, and I've told the young people that this thing was a dream of mine that we've already mentioned, and I prayed as a young person that I would one day get to fulfill that. And later on in life you got busy and you forget, and so that I just kind of forgot about that. But years later, God never forgot that prayer that I whispered and I prayed as a teenager, and He still loved me enough to allow me to fulfill that dream and answer that prayer. So, don't ever give up on your dreams, and just because He doesn't answer your prayer right away, that doesn't mean that He's not going to.
Yeah, indeed. Let's listen to the Galloways and their big song from a few years ago called Beyond the Grave here on the Champion Brothers broadcast.
I have seen my dearest loved one give into darkest death. Sadness filled the room as he breathed his final breath. He lived a life of pain, but now he'll suffer no more. To be absent from the body is to be present with the Lord. Beyond the grave, there's life called Canaan land. Let me tell you, if I should leave this world by the way of death's cold hand, I'll be in my brand new body. So don't you weep for me, 'cause by the time I take my final breath, I'll be kneeling at Jesus' feet. Beyond the grave, there's life everlasting. There we'll live again to face death's sting. No more goodbyes. God will wipe the tears from our eyes. There's no more dying beyond the grave. No more goodbyes. God will wipe the tears from our eyes. There's no more dying beyond the grave. There's no more dying beyond the grave.
The Galloways and Beyond the Grave here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. That's bringing back a memory or two, but not because I played that song a time or 200 on the radio back in the day. Always loved that song. Thank you for sharing that one with us tonight.
Yep, that was a crowd favorite every night when they hit the stage. So, yeah, very good song.
Neil, I feel like I've talked a whole lot more than I should. Yeah, I'm going to step aside. You talk for a little bit.
No, now it's been good just to be along for the ride tonight. Let me tell you, and just soaking this up. I like Jason's stories, and yeah, it's been enjoyable just to be along for the ride. Let me tell you. We can say hey to our buddy Tom Stevens, sings with the Stevens, and we knew him way back when, South Country and others. He was watching in tonight, so I don't know if he's still along, but hey, Tom, if you are.
Yeah.
And I saw that Brenda St. Pierre was watching it, which makes me think about her dad and the years we sang with him. And we might just have to wipe this thing up at the very end, Chris, if you've got that song featured, Don, on that old Ships album.
Say it again? Or...
no, the Dottie Rambo song.
Never been this homesick.
Yes.
Before.
Yeah. Let's play that before we get out of here, at least. If you got another one, Jason, that's fine. But,
that's fine.
But yeah, it's definitely been good to have you on here, Jason, to hear these stories. Yeah, things that, I mean, we've known you a long time, and but didn't know all these stories. So yeah, we hadn't sit around and dug them out of you before. So.
Yeah, well, I appreciate it. It was fun. It was fun.
Well, man, love and say hey to Rachel and the boys, and appreciate them
certainly will.
Letting you come on and do this. I don't. Well, that's probably not the right way to put it, but you know what I mean. But
sparing him for a little while.
When I talked to him the other night, and he told me that they was Rachel and one of the boys is at karate tonight.
Yep. Her and Dawson are in karate. Yep.
Yeah. So, don't mess with Jason or his wife will get on you. She knows that karate stuff. So.
Yeah, I keep them either both in front of me or beside me at all times. So.
But, man, thank you so much for joining us tonight, and look forward, if we don't see you before, I'm sure that you'll be with us on the 18th at the Fayette Civic Center for the Dixie Echoes.
Absolutely.
And,
look forward to it.
As just about everybody that's come on here, well, I will say everybody that's been on with us, you have an open invitation. Anytime you want to come be with us and come back and tell some more stories or play some more songs, just let us know. We'd love to have you anytime, brother.
We can do it. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much. Jason Baines joined us tonight. Good night, Jason, and thank you for joining us again. And Neil, anything else you need to tell?
I don't think so. Just remember that Dixie Echoes coming to Fayette March 18th, 6 p.m.
Yeah, right there.
Have a good time
on that.
I promise you'll wish you would have been there if you miss it, because it'll be a great night.
Yep. March 18th at the Fayette Civic Center right there in downtown Fayette, Alabama. No admission charge. Just come on and be with us and have a big time and enjoy the Dixie Echoes. And then Chosen Witness will be there. Faithful Friends will be there. And we want you there too. So,
That's right.
well, let's get out of here by playing. We'll play this song that you wanted to. Don Shepard featured with the Colombians. And I've never been this homesick before. And of course, I hit the wrong button again. So hang on a second. Yes, now we have got it. Let's see. They're fighting with Neil over the button now. So there we go.
There's a light in the window, the table spread in splendor. Someone standing by the open door. I can see a crystal river, so I must be near forever. Lord, I've never been this homesick before. I see the bright light shine. It's just about home time. When I can see my father standing at the door. This old world's been a wilderness, and I'm ready for deliverance. Oh Lord, I've never been this homesick before. I can see the family gathered, oh, sweet faces, all familiar. No one's old or feeble anymore. This lonesome heart of mine is crying, oh, gonna spread these wings for flying. Lord, I've never been this homesick before. I see the bright light shine. It's just about home time. Well, I can see my father standing at the door. This world's been a wilderness, and I'm ready for deliverance. Oh Lord, I've never been this homesick before. Oh Lord, I've never been this homesick before.
The Colombians and never been this homesick before here on the Champion Brothers broadcast. And boy, that's some good memories. I love that bass run that you did right there on the ending. That's always been one of my favorites. So,
All righty.
and then I was thinking back about being, what was I, 13 maybe when we did that album?
Something like that. Yeah.
Scared to death and having to do it so much and crying like a mash cat. And 'cause I haven't felt so much pressure. And
Oh my.
but yeah, mighty fine memories. And we hope to make some more memories coming up real soon. One more time, we'll let you know about March 18th at the Fayette Civic Center. Dixie Echoes coming back to town. Chosen Witness will be there. Faithful Friends will be there. And like I said before, we want you there. So come be with us. Don't cost you anything to get in. We'll just have a big time in the Lord that night. And looking forward to you being there. It starts at 6 o'clock. So make your plans accordingly. We'll be out there before too late. Still plenty of time to get where you need to go on Sunday morning. We all know where that is. So
That's right.
appreciate that. So thank
And
you.
bring a load with you when you come too.
Yeah,
Bring a load.
yeah.
I want to see some church and hear about some church groups that are there. A group of you
Yeah.
just get together from your church and just come on and let us know when you're there.
And we've got the special group rate of free as well. So
That's right. That's right. That's right.
all right. Anything else worth telling tonight?
I believe my mind's clear.
All righty. Well, again, thank you to Jason Baines for joining us. That was a neat time to spend with him and listen to some of his stories and hear some of the songs that are his favorites and through his time in gospel music. And
Yep.
you never know, when we're going to be back. I guess it'll be next Thursday unless we change our minds and do something different. Don't know who or if anybody will be with us or not, but whenever next time is, I can guarantee you we'll be here and hope you will be too, and especially be with us on March 18th at the Fayette Civic Center. So until next time, y'all have a good evening. Good night, everybody.
See you then.